Welcome back. And the international markets have an event-heavy day today. You have the ECB monetary policy meeting, and you also have the U.S. Fed Chairman Powell's speech at the Cato Institute conference as well. And ahead of that, we have seen some pause in the US dollar rally and a bit of a gain, as you can see on the gold international prices there as well. Joining us now then is Chirag Sheth. He's Principal Consultant South Asia at Metal Focus. Chirag, hi, important day, and we are looking at choppy asset classes today, including gold and silver prices also. How do you read the kind of events that are slated today and tomorrow and the kind of impact that we can see on the prices?
Good afternoon, Manisha. I think the way I see the market is that over the next, maybe 10, 12 days, you will see a bit of volatility in run-up to the Fed's meeting, because you've had a situation where, post the Jackson Hole meeting, while Fed was hawkish, the street was probably discounting the 75 basis point hike with the Fed, kind of underlined. However, the street was expecting that it could be a 50 basis point hike. And then now, again, there is a bit of repricing happening where, the street is looking at 75 basis points again. So, at this moment, there is still a lot of lack of clarity on what the Fed would do. While the Fed has maintained hawkish stance, people are still on the sidelines and wait and watch. And thus, I believe that there is likely to be a lot of volatility over the next couple of weeks.
Right. We are $350 per ounce off the kind of highs that we've seen in this year. I mean, would you see these as lucrative levels to buy, or there still is a risk of further downside in prices?
So look, Manisha, as you're aware, we've been, saying that gold and silver both are headed lower for quite some time, and we maintain our stance on that. While, if somebody is looking at, tactical, kind of investment in the short term, then yes, after such a drop, you may see a bit of bounce back. However, for long-term investors, I think a bit of wait and watch strategy would do well, as we believe that, prices could still head lower.
Okay. Would you say, Chirag, that the lower prices actually have worked well for Indian markets, because we are heading into festivities and weddings as well, and prices do look lucrative, whether it is gold and silver. What is the kind of demand or import pattern that you have seen in this year until now?
Surely, in a sense, if you look at it, the lower prices, while would have benefited Indian market much more had it not been rupee depreciation and that 5%, increase in import duty. And that's why we are seeing a very, very different trend in gold and silver, while silver market has seen a tremendous increase in demand. In fact, in the month of July, we had record imports of about 1,750 tons, and our estimates are there in the month of August, we could have had at least 1,000 tons coming in. So silver is seeing a lot of restocking, a lot of investor interest. However, gold imports, have been still fairly muted because, gold demand still has not picked up. However, we believe that over the next 10 to 15 days time, once we enter into Navratri, Dussehra, and then long festival wedding season, we could see uptick in demand. But at this moment, demand for silver is far more robust than gold.
And clearly, the numbers that we put out do show that. But Chirag, also talk to us about the kind of demand that we are seeing on ground in Indian markets. The import numbers do look well. All this buying that we are seeing in the Indian markets, is it more physical? Is it investment? Is it jewelry? Is it coming via ETFs or bonds? Where do you see money being spent?
I think for silver, Manisha, there is two types of demand. One is the restocking by the trade. You would recollect that, about prior to COVID, India had imported a lot of silver. There was a lot of demand coming in, and then suddenly when the COVID hit, the silver market literally collapsed. So a lot of these manufacturers, retailers were very, very cautious in building up inventory. And now with, COVID behind us, and economic recovery strong, we are seeing a bit of restocking coming in. Also at lower prices, because silver prices have corrected sharply, and there is always this positive interest among the Indian investors in silver, we are seeing a lot of investment demand coming in. In terms of gold, I think the demand is still very muted, and you are seeing probably demand from manufacturers and retailers who are building up their inventory ahead of the festive season, not so much so from the consumers.
All right. So between gold and silver, silver is your better bet there, and we have seen higher imports. And while the price volatility is there, the returns that we've seen in case of silver prices also perhaps seems to be on the higher side. Chirag, thank you as always for joining us and talking to us about the precious metals there. With that, that's all the time we have on the show. Stay tuned. Business Lunch is coming up next.